How's it going, everybody? So nothing occurred on the Wolf full moon. Of course, it kind of runs through tomorrow too, um, where the planets are in astrology, Astro Dientist. I should bookmark it so I don't have to look it up all the time, but it's so satanic that I just, and I used to be a massive astrologer. Like, let's say the Lord called somebody out of alcoholism. You don't want to go hang out in the bar. The last thing I need to be doing is to keep all this stuff like in a bookmark, you know. But you can see it's when the sun and moon are opposite each other, and you see Capricorn is opposite Cancer, and you see 16 degrees of Capricorn and 17 degrees of Cancer. So it hit, about 2 hours ago when my second wife, Candy, texted me about astrology. I never hear from her. And in the full moon in Cancer, I hear from her. Again, all this stuff's tied to the spirit world. You do not want to be fooling with astrology. And you just don't. Notice Mercury is lined up also. So that's interesting. And Uranus is no, it's Taurus though. Yeah, Pluto's in Capricorn, and anyway, the Mars is in the Gemini. The Venus is in the Aquarius. Okay. Well, alrighty then. I got some interesting stuff to look at with y'all. And we'll see if you find it interesting. What all did it get to? So, I mean, we're looking at different dates. We're looking at the 15th, the 19th, 21st. Well, they're all separate. The 15th, the 19th rising on 121, or going down on 121 and rising year of the rabbit 123. And I take y'all back through my Mayday friend who, when she hit that bullseye, and don't forget, Trump and I's combined number, she turned the first 5 digits of Trump and I's combined number. She turned that many days old on 3/11 last year. And the bullseye has the 404, which reps the book of Revelation. It's 404 verses. And followed by a January 23rd and March 21st. How come we never looked up what verse rising? It's the 182nd verse. Have you ever heard of Blink 182? Never dawned on me till today to look up, because we do the other ones. First time deadly wound is mentioned is 214. White horse is the 62nd. It's the 98th verse. It's chapter 6, verse 2. My brain's just like still, yeah, 62. 62 reps the verse, chapter 6, verse 2, but it's the 98th verse, the white horse. Well, it's the 182nd verse of Revelation. So that's kind of sort of interesting. Blink 182. So why did they have that name? Well, then I guess now we know. So what all would they give us with their discography? Discography. Yeah, I can talk. So they have album in 97. They have one in 2001. Take off your pants and jacket. Their last one is called 9. Again, with that number 9. I can't tell you enough how big that is. in their world and in God's world. This is God's world. They, of course, borrow off of it what they can and bastardize it for their world. But again, God's ordained their world. God's created the end from the beginning. He says, I create evil, I create darkness. He creates the evil for the day of evil. That's all in Isaiah 46:10, Isaiah 45:7, and Proverbs 16:4. So this came out on June 12th, 2001. Let's take a look at it. Well, Blink-182 with a 2001 album. 182 verse of Revelation is '82 is the first two digits of my number. Okay. 289. That 289, big deal. The 802 is a big deal. It's in the heart of Texas to Trump. But the 289 is the Mustang engine. And the whole Mustang reps the whole, in Ford versus Ferrari, they had one sitting right in there. Christian Bale, one of the old original Mustangs. But if you look at it, it's in the hours, it's 189, 288. But look at the days on the offing day. 77, 88, 7. So the 88 for Trump has a bookend of a 7 on each side. 259 months. Of course, it was on day 259. 9/11 has already exited out of that, of course. But yeah, 259 months, 3 days. Now, if you include both dates on the offing day, you get 7,888. Strangely enough. Now, this is all tied to MLK and that Wolf Full Moon. This is big stuff, the whole MLK. Not Wolf Full Moon, but it was last year. But the whole MLK and rising on 11/7, that's a big deal. Not tied to a full moon. But does it have to be? I tell you what didn't have to be. He didn't have to go down in 2022, did he? Does he have to go down in Year of the Tiger? So you see, the fallen angels knew what we would be doing. I keep telling people that. The fallen angels see the future. Let God be true and every man a liar. But yeah, they're interdimensional beings. They are the time travelers. And Trump will be the time traveler when Satan has entered his body 2 days after I say 2 days, 2 days after his fake death. 68, 143, 68. All right, well, let's run it to the rising day for the 182, which is what it's all about. 7, 8, 9, 7, 88, 9. All right, then you start running it to 121. If he goes down on 119, 2179. What about 123? If he goes down on 121, now you're talking business. 21 years, 7 months, 11 days. So you have your 711 coded. Look at the 259 months, 11 days, 25911. That is absolutely, absolutely powerful stuff. And the reason this is so powerful is he would be going down on Year of the Tiger and rising on Year of the Rabbit. He would go down on 121 and rise on 123. he would go down on New Year's Eve, which is heavily coated at the direct center of I Pet Goat and with Lily and the Apple. 11:36:88 in the minutes. So on the rising day, you have the 68 in the minutes. You have the 68 at the beginning of the seconds. 68, the reversal of 86. You got 7-11 and 9-11, which 9-11 was about 7-11, or which is 11-7. So this Blink 182, that's what they stand for. You see how numbers have just been in my head my whole life? As soon as I opened this up, I thought, oh yeah, don't forget, go look at what Bible verse that is. I knew I'd have to wait to my computer to do it. And I just got up a while ago. And this is where I have all the Bible verse. How many verses are in each chapter? And it's Revelation 11:7. So we counted all of them up in chapter 10, through chapter 10, which is 175 verses. Then you add 7 to 175, you get 182. Hey, it's 927, y'all. Daniel 927. And Blink 182 popped right in my head. I knew there was an 82. Knew there was a 182 band because of just my thing with numbers. Now, there is something interesting. If he goes down on Groundhog Day and rises on the 4th, now the 5th is a full moon. And remember, when Sirius rose on August 12th, it was a double midpoint of 2 total lunars and 2 total solar eclipses. The 2 previous, then the 2 futures. 251 apart of the solars, 88 apart of the lunars. Yes, 88. And nothing happened on that day except in my personal world. My son's wife and I absolutely went to war on email. I've shown you those emails many times without giving away the email address, which I think her daughter still has the password to. But I've shown it to you before. It filled the whole page. And that tells you, or it tells me to tell us, to suggest to y'all that my personal ciphers matter and possibly matter greatly. Well, the 86ing of the 88, and again, she just texted me. That never happens. But it happened on a full moon in Cancer, and I'm a Cancer. Hilarious. And what was she texting me about? Astrology. Because the 2 ladies she works with are trying to figure out her astrology, and she couldn't resist. And I always appreciate hearing from her. Love it. We get along great. And I sat her down and told her I wanted a divorce on 802. Text to Trump 88022. The 802 is in the middle of it. I was her 88. I've shown you all that 1,000 times. And the divorce was on 22. I showed y'all something the other day that was reversed, 22 over 88. I don't even remember what that was, but that was extremely bizarre. But on the rising day, the number would be 2423. February 4th of 23. Well, what is 2423? Well, it's just falling short of Jesus. Jesus is 2424 in Strong's Concordance, New Testament. Obviously, there's no Jesus in the Old Testament. So it's just funny how it would be falling short. By the way, somebody showed me that if you add 2021, 2022, 2023 all up, put a line through the zeros, you get 666. And they put a line through the zeros all the way through, and it was just 666. So that is very interesting. My rule is you get a single digit followed by 0, times it by God. Anyway, so here's what happened when I did 2423 by pi. It was 76 and 120 as the first 5 digits, which is Adam in Strong's Concordance New Testament 76, followed by Adam 120 Strong's Concordance Old Testament. So it literally had them back to back. And it's 76, 120, 78. Well, it was 2 numbers off from having 76, 120, 76. That was very interesting. The Black Adam and all. By the way, that ends at an 88. It has the 686. It has 88 over here again. It does have 999. It has an 806, which people could say is 86. Drop to 0. People much more skilled in all that than I do, but I just thought that was interesting. Okay. What's next? Transfer portal of time. This gets very interesting. So the potential rising day of 117 portals back to Christmas 2020. That's not a portal. I'm sorry. That's the 753. The rest of the email is about transfer portal of time. Sorry. It's not a portaling back. We're not using the transfer portal for that. Transfer portal is when you set it on 1/10/2020. I'm sorry. 1/10/2022. Last year on the 10th is the transfer portal of time. This is just going back the 753 that was on the clocks of Back to the Future. Back to the Future, Doc set the clocks back 25 minutes. I want to get what time it actually was too. Friday, October 25th. It was 25 minutes. So if you add 25 minutes, wasn't it 8:18? Yeah. So it opens up with 818. So that's a heavy code. That's my mom's birthday, 818. And her first 4 digits are, well, my mom was 8 times 18 times 1942. Yeah, she was born in the summer of 42, which is a movie. Well, she's got the 27964, which is how old Trump was yesterday. But that's Daniel 927 coded right in my mom's number. I'm like, what? Mom? I really worry about that situation. She took Christmas all the way to her death, along with man's free will, unless something came into her heart and her mind as she was dying through the hospice process. So, it's not good. Loved by everybody, a definite friend of the world, loved birthdays, loved Christmas. So, I don't know. Can't judge it because I wasn't there. But they didn't want me around final 2 or 3 days. They had me come visit like the day before she passed. They allowed a visitation. She just didn't want people, and I got to see her, and the fake preacher was there, and assuring her of her salvation. And I remember she was shaking her head, with the affirmative yes. Maybe it was a few days before she died. Maybe it wasn't the day before. I can't remember. She died May 6th. My dad, May 7th, was found. Earl May 8th, all very interesting times when we get around that time that I look at that kind of stuff. But okay, that's not a transfer portal. I had forgotten what all these dates were, and when I went to highlight them, I thought it was a portal, but that's the 753. If you know, I don't know what to do with that 818. Let's keep going. Now we're transfer portaling. If you go back 388 days, well, let's go forward first. Anyway, when you go back, you land on December 18th, which is 121 fused with an 18. 121 is Antichrist, 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 18. When you move it forward 388, and 38 is murder code and 88 is Trump, it lands on February 2nd, 2023. And that's when I 86 the 88. Use your personal ciphers. Hey, it's 937, y'all. I was married to my first wife 937 days. So that's a big deal, is it not? It's a big deal. $388 days. It's also 1 year, 23 days from the transfer portal date, hence the 123. Let's keep going. He would rise 390 days from the portal. That was my apartment number during 1988. 390 Carroll Boulevard, apartment 40. So we go back to the portal and we add the 390 or subtract the 390 that lands on the 4th, and it portals back to 1216. He would rise, according to the transfer portal, he rises on a Wednesday, December 16th, 2020, if you're doing the transfer portal of time, which there's your Wednesday out of the Addams family, quite possibly. And then there's your 121 fused with 216. That is a big deal. Do you see how there's big deals for him going down on February 2nd to Groundhog Day, and him going, and don't forget, on their movie marquee, it said Heidi 2, which the Heidi game was on 11/17, November 17th. It was the Jets, which killed Donnie Darko and crashed into the Twin Trumps, versus the right eye patch, right eye utterly darkened Raiders. Scripted world that you live in by the Ghost in the Machine. It's been scripting this world for a very long time. You go forward, it lands on February 4th. On the 5th, you have a full moon. So he's rising going up through that full moon. That's a full moon connection. You're like, well, the moon's not totally full. Well, he would go down the next time the moon's in Cancer. And he would rise when the moon's in Leo. And my first wife was a Leo. I'm a Cancer. And what did you start iPet Goat off with? Bush and Obama. Bush has my birthday. Obama has my first wife's birthday. It is the full moon at 128. So, you know, it's pretty big on the 4th. crazy stuff. Oh, well, I did end up doing it. Okay. The Great Conjunction portals to January 30th. Anyone cares? I don't even know that I care. What does this one say? Solar eclipse midpoint X across America portals to February 6th. Now, see, that's a big deal to me. That's all about him rising on the 4th through that full moon. So you go down on the 2nd, rise on the 4th, and calamity on the 6th, 2, 4, 6, just boom, 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 these even numbered days. That transfer portals back to 1214. Notice how we went 1218, 1216, 1214 as we went up 22, 24, 26. Is that anything we need to get involved in? 22 times 121, 8. 26796. Next is 2, 4 times 1216. Well, there's your 84 for the cleansing of the church. And then we do the 2, 6 times the 1, 2, 1, 4. These are the portal dates without the years. Don't forget about the transfer portal, if I may. When you go up 465 days, it lands on the total solar eclipse. When you go backwards, it lands on October 2nd, 2020, when Trump said he had the illness. The illness was called Corona. A total solar eclipse that it portals forward to, it is on the other side of that portal. So we knew right then and there that we had stumbled onto something that was absolutely amazing. Handed to us on a silver platter by the Holy Spirit, just from watching the Dr. Pepper commercial with the transfer portal and understanding Janus is forwards and backwards, and the movie Tenet is forwards and backwards. It's the number 10 spelled forwards and backwards, Tenet. And it was about going backwards and forwards through time. And I just said, let's start running things through this portal. You know, everything you add, subtract it. And we came up with so much stuff. And that's when I started seeing 37 progressions. Everything in 2020 was, and going backwards into 2021, were set on progressions of 37, full moons, eclipses, all those sort of things. The full moon in February portaled back to the eclipse in December. The December 4th eclipse of 2021 portaled forward to the snow full moon. And that's when we just started seeing stuff. If I'm not mistaken, that was 37 days. And then I started seeing things land 74 days. And I realized my second wife was 74 days backwards through the portal. And my Mayday friend is the next progression of 37, 111 through the portal, because it's 37, 74, 111. As you do this math. 37 plus 37 goes to 74, then goes to 111. And then what do you know? It goes to 148, Donald J. Trump. So my Mayday friend has some very deep numerical connections. Fascinating connections. Just I can't even begin to start to explain it. Okay, so Billy Napier. Or well, remember Jack Napier, the Joker, Jack Nicholson. Florida head coach Billy Napier, of course, is repping Trump. He's the 7th king of Mystery Babylon. So you go to Jack Nicholson's birthday, 2, 123, if he were to go down on 121, Jack Nicholson will be 31,322 days old. So 313 for deadly wound frame, 322. That's actually a great day for him to go down on, is it not? You want to portal that one? So in order, let me see if I can get this right to. All right, so that's our January 23rd hit, 378. Now, what's interesting, stepdaughter, Candy's daughter, remember, she is born in 1998 times 3 times 19, and she divides evenly by 37, 3078. Well, that's 307, that's 378 days through the portal. If you subtract it, all the way on the 28th. All right. That wasn't the help I was thinking I was getting. Let's look at Billy Napier, Florida Gator head coach, born just after I graduated high school. He's 15886 on the 17th of Revelation 11:7. Now he could go down on 11:7 and rise on 119 Donald, which Billy Napier would then be 15888. This cat was chosen for a reason, to be who he is. Mainly for his name, Napier, but is it also because of these numbers? If we run him to the second, in the minutes, 89,888. The hours, well, the hours begin with 38 for murder code. Per the movie, The Hours. They want you to pay attention to the hours. And don't forget the movie, 88 minutes. They want you to pay attention to the minutes. 88 minutes movie. So hours, minutes, they all matter. So we look at everything. We look at seconds. We look at everything. Why not? We're just bored. It's okay. There's me running it through that date. And then I ran him to the rising. Now, you run him to the rising day, Billy Napier to the rising day. If he, assuming he would go down on 2-2, he rises on 2-4. Billy Napier is 52,214. The 214th verse is first time deadly wound is mentioned, but more importantly, 43 years, 6 months, 14 days. 614 is Trump's birthday. June 14th, 614. So it's Trump coded with deadly wound on the 4th. He could go down on the 4th and rise on the 6th. We just showed you the 6th is a direct connection to the total solar, right? Or the Great Conjunction or something like, I don't know, one of them. We just did it. I can't remember this stuff 1 minute to the next. If there's one thing you can't do is memorize all these numbers. That December 14th is your total solar eclipse midpoint. That was a total solar eclipse, which was a midpoint of the 2 total solar eclipses that made an X across America. This is one of the biggest ciphers you can possibly ever find is December 14th, 2020. It portals forward to February 6th. How in the world can February 6th not be a gigantic day? If it transfer portals back to that midpoint, we've already proven the transfer portal is real. And so Billy Napier would go down. I'm sorry, Trump would go down on the 4th because Billy Napier codes 38 in the hours, 1696. He codes the divorce date in the minutes, 229, February 2nd, 2009. That's loose. But what he heavily codes is 614 and 214. Over here where it's, 43 years, 6 months, 14 days, 522 months, 14 days. Don't forget, 52 was my marriage progression to her, divorced on 2-2. So it's a fusion at 522. You got the fusion of 214. You got the 36 there, which is triangular number of 666. So it could be 43614. So it's perfect for rising. It's perfect for going down. That's this tough stuff, man. And then you run Billy Napier. He's 15906 days. There's 96 coded. 43616 52216. You have 216 for Antichrist. Deadly wound, in the hours, 38. Deadly murder code, 1744. 74, of course, the next progression of 37. You look in the seconds, it is 1374, which is 37 and 74 fused together. So Billy Napier, his stuff just jumps off the chart at us, does it not? Jumps off the chart at us. Oh, the 81744, the first 5 digits of my Mayday friend and I combined is 81744. She's born Mayday, 5/1, 1985. Times my number 82362. 81744 and Billy Napier's 38 murder code fused with the 81744. Again, she and I, Trump's number 163464, my number 82362. Remember, that's year times month times that's all 4 digits of the year times the 2 digits or 1 digit of the month times whatever digits the day was. Trump and I combined 322. 1968, the assassination year. Not that there wasn't one in 63, which is also there. But 13463, within 34 years of the Donnie Darko August 2nd moment. Well, we're in that now, aren't we? For the absolute longest time, we'll be in that. October 2nd, 1988. 34 years, 3 months. We're in that forever. Let's run the Donnie Darko day to this February 2nd. 344. It's an even 412 months for the church. The hours are 300, 984. Potential rising day. And this whole thing with the 6th, which is also another potential rising day, because the portal's back to that midpoint. Total solar eclipse. Jeez. Look at the seconds. 3888. That February 2nd date's a nutty day, man. Let's keep going. Black Adam premiere date, October 3rd. I forgot to run that one for you. If you run it to February 2nd, it is that 122 days. It's 3 months, 30 days. You know, the Gators lost 30-3 in their final game with Billy Napier this year. $330-33. They lost 30-3, which is 303, which is 33. Let's get rid of all these. There, I got one up. That's good. If you run the Black Adam October date to, let's say the 15th, or the rising date of the 17th, you got your 106. I tell you, 104, the height of the Twin Towers, that didn't, or the One World Trade Tower, that didn't work for us on January 4th. It's got to mean something. 3 months, 14 days for pi. But it would have him going down on the 15th, which is your 104 coded. From the premiere of Black Adam, not the actual worldwide release date, but when it premiered. So this one here, the subject says 11/17, 11/17, and 9/11. 11/17 to February 2nd. Oh, this is Jeff Wright, who wore number 45. It was Earl's cousin. He was born on 11/17, 1959, and he wore number 45. So I think that's very relevant. I mean, and he was a star. He went to the University of Miami on a Scully. Didn't work out well, but his cousin had then been shot while he was there. Shot, killed, murdered by Earl's mom. He just didn't do well away from home. He wasn't that... I ran into him 2-3 years ago. Well, 2019. Just still the nicest guy. Golly. But he's 23088 on Groundhog Day. 216 is also coded. My friend Skeeter Smith, who was born on 11/17, and at his funeral, a guy born on 9/11, 1963, was sitting next to me. We're going to go over his next, I guess. On the offing day, it's 216 again, of course. It's just 2 years later. It's 22357. Then I guess we go to Ronnie, who was born 9/11, 1963, 216. In the days, 21694 on the 2nd. So on the 4th, (21696). 187 in the seconds. First 3 digits, 187. That's tremendously big. Next, 9/11, Earl and Jackie. This was pretty wild, if I remember. This was very wild. So the actual date of 9/11 to February 2nd of this year, you get 21 years, 4 months, 22 days. That's 2. 1422. Not only my phone number, but where tribulation is mentioned in the book of Acts, where it says we all through much tribulation enter the kingdom. The great trib is for the church. $78 14 days, 187 in the hours. Well, there's your 187 from 9/11. That's hard to ignore when the movie The Hours tells you to look at the hours. And the hours from 9/11, it's 187. But heck, I think it's 187 on 121 too. And it is. Let's go to the 15th. It's 187 on the 15th. Which is the next high watch day. Martin Luther King Day. 2144, the 144 fish. Rising Day, we can look at it a little more. Well, the Rising Day from 9/11, it's 7798. Well, the 98th verse is the White Horse verse. And you got Trump's birthday, 2146, 146 coded, duly noted. In the months and the days, a 6 and a 6 for the book of Revelation. It's a big deal. Anytime you do something from 9/11, that's a big deal. There's a lot of stuff going on. Keep going from 9/11, 7802, 187,248. Go to that 23rd. That's also kind of staring at us as a rising day, 21412. So you got 214. You got 214 all through this from 9/11, 21 years, 4 months. The 214 verse of Revelation, it's the first time Daily Wound is mentioned. It's sitting right there on 121. 214, 21 years, 4 months, 10 days. 187 in the hours. It's big stuff. This is big stuff. I'm glad I'm not fixating on one date anymore, and I'm sure y'all are too. Jackie's birthday to the day she died on May. Did you know she died on the same day Earl did? And that was Earl's girlfriend. They had a baby. Earl had a baby before he graduated high school. Well, he died before he graduated high school. I want you to look at these days for Jackie, who was born 12116. She divides evenly. Rest in peace. 1216. I'm sorry. 12 times 16 times 1961. She divides evenly by 37. I was best man in a wedding. To Earl's cousin, Tracy McGrady, whose son became an NBA Hall of Famer. Look at her number, 10176. Just say 1176. That's Revelation 11:7. Fused with Adam, Black Adam, rising from the pit. So tracking her stuff is big. She died on the same day Earl did, May 8th. 143.88. The 14 tray, 88. I was Candy's 88. More to the point, you got your 388 for murder code. If I were to look at this in the secular world and throw out my personal ciphers, that's a big deal. 14388. Next. This is Earl to the day he died. Shot and killed by his mom on May 8th, 1978. He was to graduate in June 1978. He was the high school quarterback. You ready? 17 years, 9 months, 11 days, 9/11. Right there. Boom. How many weeks did he live? 927 for Daniel, 927. 927 weeks and 5 days. I told you Earl is connected to this from the beginning. That's why I remembered even the number on the license tag, which was 638, which added to 222 comes to 9 minutes total. 6 minutes, 38 seconds, plus 2 minutes, 22 seconds is that total number 9. Cloud 9, love potion number 9, John Lennon's number 9 Dream, Blink-182's album titled 9. So you look at this. Now, what's very strange, if you include both dates, you get 17912. You see the 7912? That's the day number when he died. May times 8 times 1978, 7912. Let's go to the next one because that's coded in one of these. I remember this. Earl, if you run it all the way to the day Jackie died, his girlfriend, golly, you get 214 in the minutes. Deadly Wound Bible verse. 144 in the minutes. But it's 40 years, 9 months, 11 days, 9/11. 489 months, 11 days. 4/8/9/11. Candy's next marriage. She's living with a guy, been engaged for forever. 89 is her next marriage progression. 4/89/11. I've often said Trump can't go down until she gets remarried. And we hit that 89 because remember, Donald J. Trump in the Hebrew gematria is 1189. In the English gematria, it's 888, which also reps her third marriage. Unless that's to me. Once the calamity begins, it won't be that legal marriage because everything will be shut down, but it would be like a spiritual connecting. I'm sure we would consummate it too. Would it be fornication? No. Not if we're both in the truth and there's no way to get legally married. What is legally married anyway? So here's what was crazy. When I was running into all those numbers, it was yesterday on the 5th, and I ran the day Jackie died on May 8th, 2001 to today, which was yesterday when I was doing this, and there was 7912, which was the day number Earl died on. 5 times 8 times 1978 was 7912. That was crazy. And look at the hours, 189/88. I'm sorry, 189/888, which that's Candy's next marriage progression repped twice, 89/888. And she texted me tonight, the following day. That's crazy. Absolutely nutbag crazy. Candy times today, 17967. I'm 224. 22464. So I multiplied 22464 times 17967. How many days old I am today? How many days old she is today? And you get the 88 and the 68/88, which is the reversal of the 86. But it's 4 and a 0, so let's times it by 7154. Or GOD, 288. My marriage to her. 87 was her first 2 digits. 288, 87. 14308. Remember that? 2 times GOD is 14308. Well, there's 308, 4308 right there with the 86. You got my marriage to her, 52, and her marriage to me, 88. And the 86ing of it, which is when? Groundhog Day. Keep an eye on that Groundhog Day, man. What if he goes down on Groundhog Day, but actually dies, according to the fake news, on the 4th or on the 3rd? Hit on the 2nd, dies on the 3rd, rises on the full moon of the 5th, just like IPEC GOAT shows. And then on the 6th, which transfer portals back to that total solar, which was the midpoint of 2 total solars that make an X across America, by February 6th, the day after he rises, absolute calamity and destruction. Earthquakes, tsunamis, war, no electricity. Yeah, and I had all this highlighted there. 2/16 of a common year. Very interesting stuff. I'm not going to get into that. Inspector, when he was dressed in his Day of the Dead uniform, Inspector, Day of the Dead, that opened, Spectre opened with Day of the Dead. His room was 327. That's the 86th day of the year. 86. 86. March 29th is day 88. Now, they cannot kill 2 billion people from March 27th to the next month on the 20th to April 20th. There's no way. Not with famine. Famine's something that takes place slightly over, a decent period of time. Yes, you can die within 4 days of not eating. But people are going to have food around. For weeks. At the very least. Anything's possible. So that's interesting. That is the end of my prep. There were a few more things I want to go over with y'all. All right, so 404 verses of Revelation times chapter 6, verse 2. Now, 9/11 was on day 254. I think that's probably just fuzzy math, but it's just something interesting to look at. I don't think they had 9/11 on that day for that reason. That's what I'm saying. In other words, I would say it's a coincidence. If you say 404, chapter 6, verse 2 of the 404 times 7154. Why did I want to look at this? I don't know why. Here's one. The Mustang 289 times the 98th verse of Revelation. You do get murder code 83 fused with 322. I know what I wanted to share with y'all. I think I've already done this, but my Mayday friend and I's anomaly. The next hit, and it's the 10th progression. It's the 10th progression of the 33s concerning Trump and I. Trump and I's combined number. That's Trump and I's combined number. She turned that many days old on March 11th. 33 days later, I turned that many days old, and 33 days after that was a total lunar eclipse. We knew we had a cipher. That cipher, that next progression is February 4th, y'all. something's going down during that time frame of Groundhog Day to the 6th. I would just venture a guess that some crazy stuff's going to be happening. Let's look at what will be going on at the grid. Let me finish the stuff that I put on my phone. This is interesting for what it's worth. That's Candy and I's combined number. I divide evenly by 37, so she and I combined would. Do you see this? My dad and I combined are 22973. My dad's number 278928. He had the 89 right in the heart of his number. But look at that 122 for January 22nd. That's potential. Look at the 144,000. So that was interesting because my dad and I, he is born September 16th. So 9 times 16 times 1937. That's his number. Times my number. You see the 22973 right there. It's crazy. If you look at 2 times 6 times 2023, you do get the 24, the 42, but the 76 for Adam. I think I wanted to look at Trump's numbers through all this. My number through it gives you a 19994199912 on the 6th. Times Trump. So you saw my numbers through it with all the 999, 1999, and then 199. If you do my number times Jesus Christ in Strong's Concordance, which is 2424 for Jesus, 5547 for Christ, you do get that 19969, but you get 911 fused with 117, fused with 420 for the abomination of desolation day, this coming total solar eclipse, potentially. If not, we would really look at him going down on that day, wouldn't we? Or rising on that day, because look at me times Jesus Christ in Strong's Concordance. You've got that 911 fused with 117. That's their rising day. That's what the event was about, was actually the rising of the Antichrist through the pit. September 9th month. Well, actually the 7th month. October octagon, the 8th month. Decade, decimeter. December was the 10th month. So that's really 7-11 coded in both directions in two different ways. You do have the 420 for this coming total solar eclipse. You got event 201. And you've got 214 for deadly wound. And that's just my number times Jesus Christ. Well, then what it's telling you is you got to take a hard look at this other stuff. Or when we started seeing those 969s and so forth. I can't remember what it was. Hang on and I'll find out on the grid. All right, February 2nd is a progression that takes you to March 11th. It will fall on our December 27th grid. Whatever we had for December 27th. I think we've looked at this already. Christopher Lloyd, who had the right eye wound when he fell in Back to the Future, the original Back to the Future. Skyfall, take the bloody shot, opens up the movie. He dies, saved by the Yoni in the opening credits. Returns, has the right eye wound through the movie. That's tremendous. It was release date November 4th. Excuse me, November 9th. That's 119 coded or 9/11 coded. And Helter Skelter. Include both dates. Inauguration of George H. Walker Bush. His election was a semi-baked theme into the Donnie Darko. Take Shelter. Donnie Darko director's cut and Princess Diana event. Him rising on the 4th gives you October 2nd, 1988 Donnie Darko date. Him going down the 4th, remember, is also a big deal. Election Day, 11/8/1998, semi-baked theme Donnie Darko hits on the 29th, which hits on February 4th. The jet, 11:09, leaving Afghanistan. Just a lot of stuff in here. If you include both dates, you get into a lot more stuff for the 4th. The 6th, it's a connection to the Great Conjunction, but it transfer portals back to 2 days before the Great Conjunction, or 1 week before the Great Conjunction. This is your December 6th. This is your February 6th, excuse me. Your February 6th date that transfer portals back to the midpoint total solar of 1214, which was the midpoint of both total solars that made the X across America. That is a transfer portals to the day that the Great Conjunction is a 37 progression from. I will say it again. This February 6th is one heck of a dog of a day. Fahrenheit 9/11 premiere for February 6th. The condo collapse. That's another thing I wanted to go over with y'all. I want y'all to look at this condo collapse. And it's 666 days. The 666 day we keep telling you is 4/20/2023. If you go back 666 days, you land on June 23rd, 2021. Condo collapse, Miami date. June 24th.
2021. According to Wikipedia, on June 24th, 2021, at approximately 1:22 a.m. Eastern Daylight Saving Time, Champlain Towers South, a 12-story beachfront condominium in the Miami suburb of Surfside, Florida, United States, partially collapsed, causing the death of 98 people.
98th verse, not the death of 98 people. 98th verse is what? White Horse. 1:22 a.m. is January 22nd, which is the first day of the year of the rabbit. But you're like, Trey, that's a day off. 4/20/2023. To the Champlain Towers. That was on 88th Street, by the way. June 23rd. 666 days. Well, it collapsed actually in the morning of 6/24. That's only 665 days. I just include both dates. You get your 666. They do that a lot. They include both dates a lot in their stuff. So you're telling me for when the towers fell, get it? It's 666 days until the day that 666 takes place. That's kind of a big deal. How in the world to get y'all to watch this all the way through? All right, love y'all very much.